everyone! We have received so many messages on socials off the back of David's reel about paint colours. We've had loads of people message to say that the colours were not the same on the panels, and that's not true because I painted them, so I know they're the same. So I thought I'd come on here and explain a little bit and hopefully also help people that are currently in the process of choosing paints, because I think this is really important. We painted a couple of boards with some paint colours we were thinking for the walls, so these are two panels. So this panel is largely painted in Paint and Paper Library Cashmere 3, and this panel is largely painted in Pointing by Farrow & Ball. We were looking at Slipper Satin for the kitchen units, which is this small patch of colour here and a small patch of colour here. Everyone was saying that this patch is two different colours, and the reason for that is colour theory. Your eyes will perceive a colour differently when it's kind of contrasted by another colour and like other hues and things. That affects how your eyes perceive that colour. Although this looks quite dark, Slipper Satin on here versus Slipper Satin on here looks darker versus lighter. They are actually the same colour. So if I put them next to each other like this, it's a bit more obvious. All of that is colour theory. Other than explaining why that's happened, I think this is really useful if you are in the process of picking colours. Or I would always compare colours to a brilliant white so I can get an idea of what the colour is, and that is really useful. It gives you an idea of like undertones and stuff. But unless you are choosing to paint stuff in brilliant white in that room, it's not much of a help comparing stuff to brilliant white. How you perceive that colour is based on other colours around you in the room. So really you should be comparing and contrasting your colours against other colours that you're using across the room to see if you still like how that colour is perceived. And of course there's various other factors, so whether your house is north facing, south facing, like how much light is getting into that room, how much artificial, natural light, like where things are placed in the room. There's loads of factors to think about. One thing that was really useful was for us painting these panels, because it meant that we can move them around the house so that we can get an idea of, like, depending on where we paint these colours, what they will look like. And honestly, it makes such a massive difference moving them across different rooms. So we highly recommend that you give that a try if you haven't already. If you've got any other questions about the paint colours that we've been using and why things are the way they are, then feel free to leave a comment below. But hopefully that was helpful.